Hello, Sophia. It's a glorious day out today. Perfect day for a party. Like the one we gave a dozen years ago. On this exact date. You remember that shindig, don't you, stepmother? Today is the anniversary of the greatest drama of your life. The day you shot to death your firstborn, my brother Channing. Happy anniversary.
Cruz, I can't believe what's happened. Why would anyone want to hurt Sophia?
I don't know, Katrina.
Did you find Suzanne?
No, it seems that Suzanne has left town.
On a trip, you mean?
People don't usually take everything they own with them if they're coming back. She cleaned out her apartment.
Why would she leave like that without saying goodbye?
I wish I knew.
You're not looking for her because she's in trouble with the law, are you?
No. How did she seem to you the last time you saw her?
As if something was bothering her. She didn't confide in me what it was.
And you have no idea where she might have gone?
No. Unless she went back to North Carolina. Maybe she'll get in touch with us and let us know.
Yeah, maybe she will, but I can't wait for that. I've got to find her.
Why?
I'm not sure, actually. Hopefully I'll know when I see her again. Any change?
They tell me she's out of danger. But they don't know when she'll come out of this. Even if she will. Any leads, Cruz, about who did this?
Not yet, Mr. C.
She could tell us. If she could come back from wherever she is.
I know. Have you been able to remember any other details from the day it happened?
Sure said she was very upset about that artist. What's her name?
Suzanne? Suzanne Collier?
Yeah.
Why, because of the paintings?
That, her resemblance to Eden. And the fact that you had your friendship with her. All of that. She just wished that that girl would leave town.
Well, she may have gotten her wish. Suzanne's apartment is empty. Nobody seems to know where she is. I've been trying to find her, but...
Look, son, I don't wish the girl any harm. But I hope she stays away. I understand why you were drawn to her. It's still an unhealthy relationship.
Yeah, well, I thought that if I got to know her, maybe I could see her for who she really is, and then I wouldn't be so overwhelmed by the sight of her, but it didn't work out that way.
Then what do you want to do with her now?
I don't know, Mr. C. I can't explain. I just have this overwhelming sense of unfinished business with the woman.
Cruz, let it go. Dear God, don't let him find her.
I'd like to talk to you later.
How is she?
Well, she's still unconscious. Cece is in the room right now.
See. Well, I'm sure you got a lot on your mind, but I need to talk to you about a few things.
Like what?
Well, I'm curious as to whether you found any suspects on Santana's hit and run.
No, we are still looking for the guys who stole Jameson's car.
Mm-hmm. I might suggest you ought to forget about car thieves and think about Jameson.
You know something I don't, Warren?
Well, I've developed an eye for character after taking pictures of so many people, you know, and Jameson's a crooked one.
I think Santana can prove that he's running a scandal here at the hospital, but of course she's a patient, so she doesn't have much credibility.
Oh, well, she was asking me about him, what I thought of him this morning.
Really? Of course, you said he's an upstanding, responsible doctor.
Which is basically my opinion. In all the years I've known him, I've yet to see any evidence to the contrary.
Of course. Would you be opposed to me maybe kind of sneakily helping you in this investigation?
And why would you want to do that, Warren? So you can scoop the story before it breaks?
Mostly because I'd like to give you a hand. Looks like you got a lot on your plate right now, and it's also a way of me making a down payment on what I owe you for saving my life.
You don't owe me anything.
I'd still like to help.
Well, I don't see the harm in it. Julia is in the waiting room. We were just about to discuss Santana's case. You want to come along?
Thank you. Oh, one other thing. These are those pictures of Suzanne Collier you asked me to take. I couldn't help noticing that she looks... Well, I guess I don't have to tell you.
Unbelievable. So what does your eye for character tell you about this woman?
She's a very unhappy young woman.
I appreciate this. Let's go talk to Julia. All right. Just before Jameson was supposed to make his speech, Rosa and Mason told him Santana was missing. He called the hospital to verify that. We need to pin down the exact time of that call.
Mason can tell us that.
All right.
What time did Jameson get to the Oasis?
I'm not sure. When I went out on the veranda, he was already out there. He said he'd been out there for a while rehearsing a speech.
Did anybody see him there earlier?
I don't know.
When did he tell you that his car was stolen?
First I heard about it was when he had to rush to the hospital, and Mason had to get a limo for him. So what do you think, gentlemen? Think he's a suspect?
Well, Warren seems to think the good doctor may have something to hide.
That's what he told me.
Key to the files. Santana thinks that patients are being kept there against their will. He's giving them medication that's not prescribed. Extra medication. More patients, more money. The files were taken from her after the accident.
Aren't delusions a symptom of her illness?
I don't think this is a delusion.
You know, when I talked to her this morning, she didn't say a word about it.
She's frightened to death, Cruz. I'm sure she thinks if she tells you, you may confront Jameson.
What was she going to do with the records?
She was trying to get them to me. She originally contacted me, wanted me to come by the hospital to see her. I tried, but Jameson wouldn't let me into her room.
Great. Right now, it's Santana's word against his, and she has been diagnosed as a paranoiac.
Nevertheless, I'd like to get my eyes on whatever records remain. She wasn't carrying all the man's files when she was hit, right?
I'll get a warrant.
Oh, well, that's not going to do any good. You got to figure Jameson has destroyed any evidence that was left.
We have to start somewhere. Right now, we don't have enough to put the guy away on a traffic
He's
violation.
tried to kill her, Cruz. What's going to stop him from doing it again? She needs protection. I've asked you for that.
I respect your intuition, Warren, but it's still possible that she's imagining this.
I'm telling you, something is wrong with Jameson and this whole setup.
If so, we'll find out what it is and we'll nail him. But we'll do it by the books, what will stand up in court.
Fine. Let's just hope it's not too late. This has been a very enlightening conversation. Excuse me, I have business to attend to.
Do you think he's on something?
Yeah, it seems like it. I just don't understand why Santana wasn't up front with me about this. Speaking of which, just so you heard it from me first, Suzanne Collier has taken off for parts unknown, and I'm going to put out an APB on her.
Do you think there's evidence of foul play?
No, there's not. But I'm going to do it anyway. Please let me know when you get the warrant on Jameson's records. Thanks.
Best thing we can do.
If it takes a court order to keep you away from here, Mason, I'll get one.
I asked Mason to come here, Mr. C. I want to talk to the both of you together. It happens you were both nearby when Channing was shot, and this incident has certain elements that are similar.
Not just similar, Cruz. Exactly the same as when Sophia shot Channing. The room, the position of the body, the blood on the carpet.
Not so. This happened to be a robbery. Sophia's ring was stolen.
Because of one small discrepancy, you're going to ignore the rest of the evidence? Your wife killed 2 of her children and managed to evade the law. Well, I believe their ghosts have come back to haunt her.
You are a certified lunatic. You are so filled with hatred that you're out of your mind. You're living in another world from the rest of us.
I hope so.
What happened to Sophia was an accident. A piece of bad luck. Had nothing to do with ghosts.
Talk about living in a dream world.
Listen, I'll come back later when the 2 of you have gained some semblance of self-control.
You're living in a dream world. You know that. You are a ghost. You have never been able to make a life for yourself because you don't have the guts.
Reviling me is not going to wipe out the truth. Sophia killed Channing, and she caused Eden's death. I think they've taken their revenge.
God, what the hell does it take to shut you up?
Perhaps you could hire Sophia to shoot me.
Sophia, it's Cruz. Sophia, can you hear me? I need you to come out of this. We all do. I know before it happened you were still blaming yourself for Eden's death, and I'm worried that maybe that's the reason you're staying away from us now. And I don't know what to do but to tell you again that it wasn't your fault. That Eden deeply loved you. And she had forgiven you, all of it.
No, Cruz, she hates me. My darling Eden hates me so much she tried to kill me.
You know, Mason seems to think that the Eden we loved doesn't even exist, never existed. And that must be his way of dealing with his own bitterness, I guess. But I need you. For selfish reasons, I need you back here awake. I know that we can help each other, so please, try to come back.
You wouldn't ask if you knew, Cruz.
If you do, I promise you I'll find who did this to you and bring him to justice.
Then you'll be bringing Eden to justice, making Eden pay for my sins. I pray you never find out the truth. It's too cruel. Our girl didn't die, Cruz, but she's lost to us forever.
She's beautiful, isn't she?
Oh, God, yes, she is. And you know, we are going to have to talk about what happened to her.
I know. I was just as bad as Mason out there. I just couldn't admit in front of him that there was any truth to his ravings. It's so hard for me to think that there's that somebody could hate her enough to hate any of us enough to recreate the nightmare of Channing's death.
The way I understand it, the last word she said before she lost consciousness was Channing. Now, why would that be?
According to Mason, Channing's ghost returned seeking revenge. There's no doubt whoever shot her knew the details of what happened that night. We had replaced Channing's rug, yet the bloodstain was in the same place. Sophia was standing right there, the same spot that Channing was. Means that somebody lured her there.
And from the angle of the wound, it seems likely she was shot by someone sitting in the chair behind the desk, the same chair she was sitting in when she fired on Channing.
I go out again and knock.
No, come on in. Did the warrant come through on Jameson's records?
Not yet. This is really beautiful. I didn't know that you did that kind of thing.
Well, I used to dabble in it when I was in high school.
Well, I like it a lot. Are you finished?
No, there's a lot to do before it's finished.
Have you gotten any response from the APB on Suzanne?
No.
I just came to see if you are all right, so I'll see you later.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Let me know about the warrant when it
Yeah,
comes
I will. You know me. If I have something to say, I have this need to say it. So you can just tell me to shut up if I'm out of line.
Julia, shut up.
Okay. I can't.
Oh, dear.
I have to say it because I have to. I think you should call off the search for Suzanne because I think that it's a reminder of Eden, and I think that you have enough of those. And now I've said what I have to say, and I'll leave and mind my own business.
What? Flying hill.